Okay, we've all been there, right? You've painstakingly scrubbed your pool walls, you've dumped in the chemical shock, and you've watched those dark, ugly spots finally fade away. You feel great, only to walk out a week later and see the exact same black spots returning to the exact same places. It's maddening. I totally know the sheer frustration of fighting a battle you just feel like you can't win. But listen, you aren't crazy, and you aren't necessarily doing it wrong either. You're just fighting an enemy you don't fully understand yet. So, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to completely validate your pool maintenance struggles. We're breaking down the science of what you're actually dealing with out there, and, much more importantly, we're going to give you a scientifically backed tactical battle plan to eradicate this problem permanently. It is time to take back your pool. Here is our tactical breakdown for today. 1. Meet the armored invader. 2. Why normal chlorine fails. 3. The eradication battle plan. And 4. Prevention and phosphate myths. Let's jump right into section 1, meet the armored invader. So let's really dive into this. The biggest mistake you can possibly make is assuming you're dealing with a typical aquatic plant. Honestly, the term black algae is a massive biological misdirection. What you're fighting isn't a plant, it isn't a fungus, and it definitely isn't a standard algae bloom. It's actually an ancient cyanobacterium. We are talking about a billion-year-old organism that literally evolved to survive conditions that would instantly kill most other microbes. And the way it survives? It forms these highly structured, layered colonies with a penetrating base of root-like structures called holdfasts. These holdfasts drill and anchor right into the porous plaster, concrete, or grout of your pool. And that biology right there is the absolute core of your problem. When you see those dark patches embedded into your pool surface, you aren't seeing the whole organism. Not even close. That dark, waxy layer on top is essentially biological armor. It's packed with pigments specifically designed to block UV light and deflect harsh chemicals. The actual, living, reproducing mass of the colony, yeah, it's hiding safely beneath that shield, securely anchored down into your pool's microtexture. Which brings us to section 2, why normal chlorine fails. Once you realize you're up against a deeply embedded, shielded invader, it suddenly makes perfect sense why your standard weekly pool maintenance is failing so miserably. Think about the difference for a second. Green algae, that's just a free-floating, single-celled organism. When you add your standard chlorine, it easily oxidizes and burns right through those weak cell walls on contact. Dead, gone, easy. But black algae's waxy outer coating is highly hydrophobic. It physically repels water. Because of this hydrophobic armor, your highly chlorinated pool water literally just beads right off the colony. It's kind of like running a sprinkler over a freshly waxed car and wondering why the engine isn't getting wet, you know? Normal chlorination never even reaches the living cells. Now, sure, if you heavily shock the pool, you might temporarily burn off that very top exposed waxy layer. The spots might look lighter, they might even seem to disappear for a few days, but the core survives perfectly fine. And within days, the colony just rebuilds its armor right from those embedded holdfasts. All right, section 3, the eradication battle plan. So obviously, standard maintenance won't cut it. It is time to stop playing defense and launch a tactical multi-stage siege to completely clear this organism from your pool surface. Your absolute primary breaching tool is a heavy-duty stainless steel wire brush, not nylon. Nylon is entirely useless here. Unless, of course, you have a vinyl or fiberglass pool where steel would damage it. But for concrete and plaster, you need steel. Why? Because you have to apply massive physical pressure to aggressively crack and abrade that waxy coating on every single spot. This brush step is not optional, guys. It's the vital first move. Okay, here is the exact sequence that actually works. Immediately after physically cracking that slime layer to expose the living cells underneath, you have a very, very short window. You have to act before the organism can repair its defenses. So step 2 is immediately superchlorinating the water. Step 3 is direct algaecide application. And step 4 is relentless, continuous filtration. Let's talk about that superchlorination step for a second. Normal maintenance chlorination sits around 1 to 3 parts per million. And hey, that's perfectly fine for keeping clean water clean. But for this siege, you must blast the pool with 10 to 20 parts per million of free chlorine. You absolutely need this extreme shock level to have any fighting chance at doing real cellular damage to those freshly exposed bacteria. Now, while that chlorine level is incredibly spiked, you deploy step 3. You want to use a concentrated copper-based or quaternary ammonium algaecide. But, and this is huge, Don't just broadcast it into the deep end and cross your fingers that dilution does the work. No way. Apply it directly onto the disrupted colonies using an applicator or a brush if you can reach them. Direct chemical warfare right on the exposed wound is dramatically more effective. And for those really stubborn spots stuck in tight corners or deep down in grout lines, there's a lesser-known pro tip, the trichlor tablet trick. Put on heavy protective gloves. Seriously, don't skip the gloves. Take a compressed trichlorchlorine puck and literally rub it directly onto the cracked colony. This delivers a sustained, highly concentrated chemical attack right at the exact point of contact without it just diluting away into the bulk water.
To finish out the siege, you need to keep your filter running constantly for at least 24 hours. That clears out all the dead, decaying cellular debris. If you don't clear it, surviving colonies will just use it as a food source. At the 24-hour mark, grab that steel brush again and aggressively rebrush. You'll likely need to repeat this entire sequence for 1 to 3 weeks depending on how bad the severity is. And, crucially, literally make or break here. Rinse all your tools, your nets, your brushes in diluted bleach. Dried cyanobacteria can easily survive on a brush bristles, meaning the next time you clean, you might accidentally reseed your entire pool.
Finally, let's look at Section 4, Prevention and Phosphate Myths.
Okay, so you fought the war, the spots are finally gone, and you just want peace. Once the current infestation is cleared, we have to prevent recolonization by focusing on actual science, rather than falling for expensive chemical myths. Let's address the elephant in the pool store right now. So many pool owners waste an absolute fortune on phosphate removers, fully believing they can just starve the algae of its food source. But science tells us a very different story. These ancient bacteria possess a biological trait called luxury phosphorus uptake. Basically, this means they can actively hoard and store phosphorus inside their own cells to survive in environments that are totally nutrient deficient. So, the absolute crucial takeaway is right here. You simply cannot starve an enemy that packs its own lunch. Black algae feeds on all sorts of various sources, and because it stores its own nutrients, relying on phosphate starvation is just a fundamentally flawed strategy. In fact, phosphate removers aren't even EPA approved for killing or inhibiting algae. It's just a pricey distraction from what actually works. Real prevention requires routine and discipline, not expensive magic bullets. It means testing your water every single week and maintaining your pH strictly between 7.4 and 7.6. If your pH climbs any higher than that, your chlorine's killing power drops drastically, leaving you completely underprotected. Also, utilize robotic cleaners. Having a robot running a few times a week provides this consistent mechanical surface disruption. That physical movement stops young, vulnerable colonies from ever taking hold before they can even build their armor. I really want to leave you with this final, kind of tough thought to chew on. What if you follow this entire battle plan flawlessly? Your chemistry is absolutely perfect, and the invader still returns to the exact same spots. The really harsh truth is, it might not be the algae's fault anymore. Microscopic plaster damage, deep pitting, and degraded grout create these perfect structural footholds that are basically impossible to keep clean. If your pool's surface is fundamentally broken, it's just inviting them right back in. So you're left with a pretty tough choice. Is it finally time to resurface your pool, or are you prepared to fight an endless war? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and good luck out there on the battlefield.